तो ऑर्बिस स्कूल को अभी 16 साल हो गए हैं एंड जैसे हम सब के साथ होता है, हम लोग लिविंग रूम में बैठते हैं, डिनर करते हैं, डिनर के बाद में गपशप होती है एंड नॉर्मली गपशप यही होती रहती है कि आदमी परेशान है लोकल कंडीशन से, रोड की कंडीशन बोलिए, ट्रैफिक बोलिए, साफ सफाई, कचरा कूड़ा, एंड we have all become armchair critics and we provide solutions sitting in our living rooms. And nobody actually does anything to solve the problem except for complain. And I was also one of those people. We all are of that sort. And ऐसी एक मीटिंग में मुझे ऐसा लगा कि बस हो गया अभी. From being a complainer, let us become a solution provider. And one of the best ways to provide solutions is to equip the next generation to be solution providers. And the best way to do that is to inculcate the best values in our students. Now, one is that you can approach other schools and request them to have curriculum which is aligned towards this thought process. But that's a tough one because to get entry into schools, to convince them, and mostly every school thinks that they are doing a very good job themselves and they don't require an outsider to tell them how. So having thought deep, I thought the best way is to start your own school. Maybe a few hundred students is all that you can influence, but a small beginning is a beginning nevertheless. So that's how the thought of setting up a school came about. And we set up Orbis at Keshavnagar, the first branch. And our emphasis right from the beginning has been to ensure that our children learn to speak up. Our motto is celebrate learning. And part of the celebration of learning is not just to make the environment joyous, but to make the environment stress-free, where the student is confident to speak up. He may not be right, his suggestion may not be correct, but as a school, it is our duty to provide him a stress-free environment, fearless environment for him to speak up. So that's one thing that we do, and we ensure it is done absolutely to the maximum. Our principal's doors are always open. Our cabin door is always open. Any child can walk in and speak with her. Same as for our staff members. We love to hear from them, and we have a mechanism that once we have heard a point of view, the point of view is discussed, and if it's found suitable, it is implemented. In fact, that's true even for our students, because we have what we call as the Students' Council. Just as to how we have a cabinet system running a country, Prime Minister at the helm and various ministers, we have exactly the same thing at our school. The youngest of our children are monitors. Every class, every division rather, has 5 monitors. And those 5 monitors report to the ministers, who are the prefects, and those prefects ultimately are heard by the school captain, the vice captain, and that forms the student council. Whatever is the recommendations of the various monitors and which meets with the expectations and approvals of the ministers and the school captain is finally put forth before the principal as a memorandum. And that is discussed in our core team meetings, and anything which is found good is implemented. That's what we mean by an opportunity to be heard. We've had various issues as a community. We complain about the school bag weight, for example. Now it is a law and prescribed weight is permitted for different age groups. But I'm very happy to say that Orbis, even before it became a law, had already set up this practice. So every morning when the children walk into school, a set of teachers look at the bags of the students and we do a random check, including weighing the bag, including checking the contents within. So there's certain unwanted, unpleasant, unwarranted items do not come into the school premises. But the main reason is that we want to ensure that the weight of the bag is manageable. So any bag which appears to be heavy is weighed. Its contents are noted. Those contents, if they are not to be brought to school, are noted separately. The child is counseled, the parent is counseled, as a result of which the bags are manageable weight. The other aspect to support this initiative is that we provide every student a locker in the school. So those heavy items such as skates, such as certain books which are only for reference purposes, are kept behind in the school. Some parents find value in providing the children two sets of books. One set remains at home and the other set remains in school. So those bags are very, very light. But that's a choice of the parent. But nevertheless, each bag is kept to manageable weight. We also want to make our children great citizens. It's a cliche to say that we are making global citizens. But we actually implement small things to ensure that our child stands out in a crowd wherever he may be. Particularly in our Indian context, forming a queue is something which is not adhered to at most places. And we have a situation where our people tend to break or not respect a queue. They many a times will, even if they are in a queue, they are very close to each other at a very uncomfortable distance. We teach our children that queues are a must. Queues is for the benefit of all concerned, and queues have a discipline, must maintain distance between two bodies, particularly because we are a co-ed school. And the world actually is co-ed, as in genders mix, be it in your workplace, be it in your travel places, in a tight, overcrowded bus, in a tight, overcrowded train. We must teach our boys and our girls even in such a tight situation, how to maintain decorum. So we ensure that our children sit in a mixed environment in class. If they become comfortable in such an environment, I'm sure they'll be comfortable when they are compelled to travel in buses and trains which are very crowded. Respect for each other of the opposite gender is extremely important, not just for the boys, but also for the girls. Both of them need to understand their limits. Both of them need to understand the comforts. And once this has been inculcated from the very early ages, and by early ages I mean when they are 5 and 6 and 7, it becomes very natural for them once they are older, once they are into puberty. And that's when things become a little more difficult, uncomfortable. But if they've already been subject to training, it becomes very naturally easy for them to accommodate each other at that point in time. Just as to how we have the queue, we also have other disciplines that we inculcate in our children. How to walk, for example, on the stairs. Which side of the stairs is meant for going up and which is meant for coming down. Who gets right of access? Similarly, we have rules for elevator usages. Which side do you wait while the elevator comes to your floor, and when the people are exiting the elevator, you must allow them to exit and then you enter. If it's a crowded elevator, who gets preference at the time of getting out? All small things, but if we train our children right from the beginning, it becomes second nature with them. It becomes absolutely habituated. So they don't need to even concentrate when they are actually subject to this at a later date. There are many such things which we'd like to incorporate, and we are now going to expand this civic appreciation to areas such as something that has caught my attention is how we behave at airports. When we are at the conveyor belt, each one of us is standing absolutely touching the conveyor belt. And when anybody wishes to remove his or her heavy bag from the belt, it's a task because there's somebody who's standing immediately to your right, immediately to your left, immediately behind you. How do you take your heavy bag and take it to your trolley? It's very easy. I mean, each one of us should maintain a three-step distance between the belt and where they are standing. When they see the bag, they approach it quietly, remove their bag and take it to the trolley. There's no need to jostle for space because there's enough space. But it is just our upbringing where we have kind of not allowed ourselves a little bit of time and space for our own and for others' comfort. So we are hoping to train our children on that as well, and we'll actually have conducted classes so they can learn these finer aspects. So that's what brought us actually into schooling, and then we've come a long way. From the Keshavnagar branch, we have now come into a second school which is close by at Mundhawa. And lately we've also launched another branch at Gaunje. So this is just a reflection of our confidence, and we thank our team members, which is our admin team, our teaching team, our students and parents who have reposed faith in us, faith in our system, which has resulted in us growing, and we hope to grow further and further. The other aspect of schooling is the curricular and the co-curricular achievements of respective schools. We at the Orbis love that our students are amongst the podium positions, but we don't push them hard on that. What we certainly push them hard on is participation. Every child must participate, whether he is good in a particular activity or not. Every child gets an opportunity to go on stage and get a reasonably good part. It's not that he's just a prop somewhere. The idea is that if the earlier we get our children to walk up onto a stage, face an audience, speak to the audience, the fear, the stage fright just disappears. I'm pleased to note that children as young as 5, 6, 7 years old are great orators at our school. They love the stage, they love the mic. They're not inhibited at all. They express themselves freely, and I must say they do that in English, Marathi, French, Hindi, all the languages that we teach, we inculcate them to speak well in those languages as well. So as a school, we have tried to be as holistic as possible. I'm sure there are many areas where we may want to improve, and our open door policy is going to help us get newer ideas to expand in our delivery of education. Our children have passed with flying colors in the various board exams. Again, as I said, we don't really want to mention the great results we've had. Most of our students get in the 80-85% and above, reaching a 95, 98, 98 point something percent repeatedly. But what we are most pleased about is that our children go out and choose careers which are very, very innovative, which are new. I think the reason that they're able to choose careers which are not conventional is because they have right from the beginning learned to speak their mind. So they're able to express their preferences to their parents in a way that is convincing that their passion for a particular unconventional line is understood by the parents, appreciated by the parents, and they have gone into such courses. Not just in the country, but many of them have chosen colleges and universities in different parts of the world. We have a very robust alumni. They come into the campus frequently, particularly in the times when the colleges are on vacation. I remember a few weeks, maybe a month or so ago, we had a very fine day at school where the alumni came in and they participated, I think, in basketball and football matches with our current students and with the staff. We actually have a rolling trophy for that. So this is an activity which we hope to continue year after year and welcome our alumni students back. We have our alumni who come and act as mentors for our students, especially those who have taken unconventional careers. And they come and they talk to our class 9, 10, 11 and 12 standard students so that these students will understand and appreciate the other unconventional careers which are exciting, which are new, which have great potential. It's very important that our children get exposed. Our job as educators is to provide our children with as much exposure as we can in all aspects, be it education, be it life skills, be it values, just various aspects that the world has to offer. The world has truly become a global village in terms of distances, in terms of technology which connects you with various parts of the world all at the same time. And our children must learn to live in such an environment in a very, very effortless manner. We are happy that we've been able to do that for our children. And we are happy that our children have been able to absorb all that we have offered to them wholeheartedly and in the best way possible for themselves. So, having learned the ropes of education hands-on, I'm very pleased that I've also got the opportunity to work for the lesser privileged students. As Executive Chairman of Anjuman Islam's Pir Muhammad campus at Bun Garden, I look after a campus where about 3,500 girls are looked after. Their schooling, their technical education, their higher education is looked after there. It also has an orphanage of about 140 girls. Capacity of 150, currently we have about 140 girls. So whatever learnings we can incorporate there, we do it. The children there are from a section of society which is not able to pay very high fees. Our fees there are very, very reasonable, but we provide state-of-the-art infrastructure there. And it's possible only because of the philanthropy of our well-wishers. So we have great labs there, a great playing ground there, a fantastic library, good teachers, good buildings, great toilets. Everything that a great school needs is available even in a school which is not, I would say, even less than a budget school. The fees there are barely about 12,000 to 14,000 rupees in the unaided school, and of course the aided school is a free education for the children. We also have a polytechnic there where we have girls, ladies up to 60, 65, 70 years of age who come and learn various vocational courses, IT, fashion designing, beauty and culture. So I'm very happy that I'm able to give back to society via the Orbis schools as well as by the Anjuman's Pir Muhammad campus. So the new education policy is a well thought out policy according to me. It has restructured the school environment into 8 specific groups. This will help us as educators to focus on the specific needs of children of a particular age. It is something which we were already doing, but it's nice to have it in a structured manner. It's nice to have it across the country. Hopefully, by the time this is implemented entirely, it will be perhaps another 4, 5, 6 years, maybe more. But nevertheless, slow and steady steps. We as a nation must work in an environment which is kind of homogeneous, which is similar everywhere. We are extremely splintered in terms of various boards, in terms of various languages, in terms of different cultures that we have across the country, which is all fine and very good. We love the diversity. But in certain constructive way, we must work as a nation in one breath, in one kind of strong step in a particular direction, which will make us nation grow stronger and stronger. So I like the NEP policy. I like the fact that it has provided all schools a structure to work on. Many of these things are something which we and other schools have been doing for some time. But as I said, now if every school does it, the nation will build itself accordingly. So I think it's a nice step.